Hello, I'm Miss Caramagno, and I'm going to be giving you a lesson on basic Cornell Notes today. The first thing you need for Cornell Notes is a piece of paper. We have a handy piece of paper right here. Now you need to know where the holes are and the side without the holes. The first thing you do when making Cornell Notes is you fold the paper 1/3 of the way from the left. This is the left side with the holes. You do that by folding the paper like so. You've gotten 1/3 of the way when the distance from the edge of the papers is the same as from the fold to the edge in the middle. When this is the same distance to that, you have folded the paper into 1/3. Now, when I open my paper, I have a perfect crease 1/3 of the way across. I'm going to make this crease really obvious by running a pen down the crease. Now I'm going to leave some space at the bottom for my summary, which I'll put in a minute. The next thing you need in your Cornell Notes is your name. It goes in the top right side. You can put the date here as well, and you should probably put your period or class. Now you're going to title your Cornell Notes so you know what they're notes on. The title goes here in the top left. You might use the name of the section or the chapter in a book that you're reading, or if you're watching a lecture, you could use the title of the lecture. At the bottom of the page, you're going to draw a line about 3 or 4 lines from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where your summary goes. It's important to put the summary in right away because once you get started taking notes, you might forget to include it. But if it's there before you start, you'll remember you have to go back and do that. Now we're going to talk about what goes in each section of the Cornell Notes. On this side, we're going to put very general information. We might put headings, or key words from what we're taking notes on. This is also the place for vocabulary. Really, we only want the vocabulary words on this side. And that means that we'll put the definitions here. That way, you have a word on one side and the definition on the other. Now, you're also going to put notes in this wider space. That's why it's wider. We're expecting you to write more. There are different ways that you can take notes here. You could take notes in bullet form. You could take notes in outline form. You can even take notes in the form of pictures. Or charts. or diagrams of other kinds. Here's a pie chart just to give you an idea. You can take whatever type of notes works for you the best in this space right here. Once you have all your notes, then it's time to go back and look at them. You want to consider what you wrote about and what it means. And at that point, it's time to think of a question. Or, for my assignments, 2 questions. You want an above the surface question, this is the kind of question that has question words like who, what, when, and where. And you want a below the surface question. This is the kind of question that has how or why in it. You need 1 above the surface question and 1 below the surface question to make this a complete assignment. And you want to make your question match the notes you've already taken. So if I have taken notes on how the peasants of France have to give money to the king in taxes, my question should reflect that. I might write the question, why did the peasants pay so much in taxes? Ideally, the answer to the question will be somewhere in my notes right here, next to where I wrote the question. And you can see this is a below the surface question because it has why. Now once I have done all the vocabulary and the definitions, I've taken all the notes, I've put in my questions and any guiding headings or keywords, the last part of Cornell Notes is the summary. This is where you write 5 to 7 important things from your notes. And this will help you find your information later, and it also helps you think about the information in a different way. When you're ready to study, that's where Cornell Notes become the most useful. You can fold over this side of the Cornell Notes and cover your answers, and you're left with keywords, vocabulary, and questions to see if you've really learned the material. If you have, you'll be able to answer all these things, and if you haven't, you can peek and get the answer and try again. That's one of the reasons Cornell Notes are so great. This has been a lesson in how to set up basic Cornell Notes. I'm Miss Caramagno. Thank you for your time.